Hi, everyone. From Fitzgerald Stadium, it's Post 22 Baseball on the air tonight with Mark Benetti. This is Tom Rudebush on ESPN Radio, Rapid City. Our director on Hardhats-TV is Destin Human. And we are set tonight, a little bit of a change, as we thought we were going to be broadcasting a doubleheader tonight, but Billings, Mark, had an unbelievable schedule. They played two games in Bozeman, Montana last night, two of their league games. And they then had to travel all the way from Bozeman to Rapid City, which is about an 8-hour drive, and play at 5 o'clock a doubleheader. Well, they got delayed on their trip over, so they called Coach Messer about 4:30 or so and told him they would not, or not 4:30, about 3:30 or so, and told them that they would be unable to make the 5 o'clock starting time. And so Mitch agreed to just move to a single 7-inning game here at 7 o'clock. And then we will play a doubleheader here tomorrow at 1 p.m. Tonight's game, both on ESPN Radio and Hardhats-TV. Tomorrow only on Hardhats-TV, both games for our doubleheader. So, Mark, a little bit of a change, but we're going to see the same pitchers.
And absolutely, I think we'll still see some good baseball, don't get me wrong, but definitely a bit of a change. So the workload goes to tomorrow. We get a nice little 7-inning game tonight, and it's all good. You and I were talking off the air earlier. I'm kind of surprised that the Scarlets still agreed to these 3 games, and the only reason I say that is because you were telling me that they have to win their last 2 games this weekend of the regular season in order to make the Montana State playoffs. So that's a tall goal. You're coming out here, you're playing against a very well-coached and a very high-performing Post-22 Hardhats team that's already beaten you once this season. You're on a crazy road trip starting off in Bozeman, then playing 3 games in 2 days here, and then you've got to go back home and you've got to play for your playoff lives and for the rest of your season. So I'm a little surprised that they decided to keep this going, but you know what? Hats off to them. They're going to get a big test before they play for 2 games that are going to mean a lot for the rest of their year.
Well, and one of the reasons they are here and are playing 3 games is many times when you schedule at the start of the season, it's a reciprocal deal. We played 3 games with the Billings teams in Billings. They were obligated to play 3 games here in Rapid City, and obviously the Billings coaches agreed to this date 2.5 months ago. So I don't think there's anything Post 22 could do. Mitch Messer said he might have considered one 9-inning game tomorrow, but right now they're going to go with a doubleheader tomorrow at 1 o'clock. And for Post 22, Mark, as we think about this, 3 games left in the regular season.
I can't believe it. I seriously, I think back to it. I was talking to my parents about it last night because state playoffs are right around the corner. I seriously cannot believe we're at this point. And I think that reality won't hit for us until we see the first pitch from a Post-22 starter to kick off the South Dakota State tournament that this team is hosting exactly a week from today. So it'll be interesting to see how the rest of this year plays out. The Hardhats have 3 games to work out the kinks, to try and work on form, to buy into what the coaching staff is preaching, and then get ready to rock and roll for their title defense of a state championship. And here's hoping it's 5 in a row.
Tonight is senior night here at Fitzgerald Stadium. All the senior ball players are being introduced, and we'll begin with Riley McSherry, who is the son of Shanda McSherry. And Riley graduated from Central High School. He will be attending the University of Sioux Falls in the fall, majoring in nursing and playing baseball for the Cougars. Riley McSherry. Zach Solano is the son of Al and Carol Solano. Zach graduated from Central High School, and this fall he will be off to North Dakota State University in Fargo to major in business and play ball for the Bison. Tommy Wall, the son of Tom and Wanda Wall. Tommy graduated from Central High School. He will be attending Century College in White Bear Lake, Minnesota, a Twin Cities suburb, majoring in sports management and playing baseball for the Wood Ducks. Isn't that a great name?
The Wood Ducks, wow.
Kyle McGuire is the son of Kevin and Tammy McGuire, and Kyle graduated from St. Thomas More High School. And this fall, he will be headed to the University of Nebraska in Lincoln to major in civil engineering. Timmy Paris, the son of Tim and Rhonda Paris. Timmy graduated from Central High School. He'll be headed to South Dakota State University this fall to major in chemistry and play baseball for the Jackrabbits. Colton Sherbinski, son of Marlo and Janet Sherbinski. Colton graduated from St. Thomas More, and this fall he will be headed to Des Moines Area Community College in Iowa and major in physical therapy. And finally, Lucas Ferdinand, son of Paul and Teresa Ferdinand. Lucas graduated from Stevens High School. This fall he will be attending Chadron State to major in education and play football for the Eagles. Congratulations to all of the senior ball players on this year's Post-22 team. And one other note we want to give you before we get to the starting lineups here tonight. The Kevin Morshing Award was given tonight. Kevin, of course, lost his life in an accident about 15 years ago. Kevin was attending South Dakota State University when he suffered this life-ending accident. It was such a sad moment in Post-22 history. But Kevin's parents were here tonight. They make an award each year, the Kevin Morshing Award, to a Post-22 senior player, which is a nice plaque and also a scholarship award. And this year's recipient is Timmy Paris, the Post-22 catcher, and like Kevin, a Central High School graduate, and like Kevin, also a wrestler. So congratulations to Timmy Paris for receiving the Kevin Morshing Award. Now let's go over to Mark Benetti for tonight's starting lineups.
The Billings Scarlets are going to bat in the top halves of our 7 innings tonight, as the Hardhats are the home side. So leading off for the Scarlets is number 11, Ben Tallman. He is the designated hitter. Batting second, number 5, Christian Michelson. He's patrolling left field. Batting third is number 7, Dylan Johnson. He's the backstopper and catcher. And in the cleanup position is number 3, Clay Siebel. He's in the hot corner at third base. Batting fifth is number 8, Sam Barry. He's out at second base. Batting sixth is number 10, Cole Kramer, out at first base. Batting seventh is number 4, Max Pickard. He's the shortstop. Batting eighth is number 1, Braden Eupert. He's patrolling center field. And rounding out the batting order in the ninth spot is number 6, Peyton Stovall. He is patrolling right field. Cole DeVries is on the mound tonight, number 12 for the Scarlets, and he'll take on the Hardhats in the bottom halves of our 7 innings as follows. Leading off for Post-22 is number 11, Walker Paws, out at home at second base. Batting second is number 14, Justin Kramer. He is in the hot corner at third. Batting third, number 22, Cooper Volman. He's the shortstop. And in the cleanup position is number 13, Zach Solano, and he is patrolling right field. Batting fifth, number 28, Zach Sumption. He's patrolling center field. Batting sixth is number 17, Todd Stevens. He'll patrol left field. Batting seventh is number 21, Timmy Paris, the backstopper and catcher. Batting eighth is number 31, Luke Ferdinand, out at first base. Good to see him back in the lineup after he spent time to celebrate his brother's wedding last weekend. And rounding out the batting order in the ninth spot is number 30, Jack Sorensen. And tonight for the Hardhats, he is the designated hitter. Riley McSherry is on the mound, one of our many seniors that was honored tonight for their hard work over 4 years of high school with this Post-22 organization. 61 2/3 innings of work under his belt. That leads the entire Post-22 pitching staff. This will be his 12th start of the season and his 16th appearance overall. He has an 8-1 record on the mound in such appearances. 43 strikeouts to 23 walks, 8 hit batsmen on the season, and a 2.156 ERA. And it seems that Riley all year long has been one of the most important arms in this staff, and he's right into his groove, which is great because, again, the state tournament's exactly a week from today, and we need all hands on deck.
So they're introducing the starting lineups, and you heard them from Mark, and we're just moments away for the start of tonight's game. And again, Mitch Messer will use kind of the same rotation he used on that North Dakota trip. Riley McSherry, Colton Sherbinski, and Kyle McGuire, with Sherbinski and McGuire now throwing in the 2 games tomorrow.
National Anthem's coming up, folks. We'll have first pitch after this here on ESPN Radio, Rapid City.
Well, Mark, we'll continue our discussion, I'm sure, over the next 3 games about this pitch count rule. It was interesting, the pitch count totals that you were able to keep up in Dickinson, and we talk about 75 pitches. You don't want to go over that. Kyle McGuire, I believe, threw 68 pitches in 3 innings.
That is correct. He did throw 68 pitches in 3 innings, and everybody else hovered around 75. I think Riley ended up throwing 76, and Colton Stravinsky threw 71 in his start. So we did keep an eye on it. We're still going to keep an eye on it. Next week, when state tournament play begins, we're definitely going to keep an eye on it. Speaking of keeping an eye on things, we have the Hardhats defensive alignment out there. Riley McSherry on the mound with his 8-1 record. He is paired up with his battery mate and catcher, Timmy Paris. At first is Luke Ferdinand. At second, Walker Paz. Shortstop, Cooper Bowman. And in the hot corner at third is Justin Kramer. Left to right in the outfield for post 22, Todd Stevens, Zach Sumption, and Zach Solano.
So we're just about set to go as Clyde Milslagel will call the balls and strikes tonight, and Bob Klein will umpire on the bases. Post 22, 46 wins, 7 losses coming into the game. Ben Tallman will be the leadoff hitter, the designated hitter for the Scarlets. Here's the windup by Riley McSherry. The first pitch is hit up in the air to deep center. Back goes the center fielder, and it is over the head of Sumption. Played on a hop off the wall. A 1-pitch double for Ben Tallman to start the game. He had gone, he didn't play against post 22 in that earlier game.
Well, that escalated quickly. I think that's all we can say about that. 1 pitch, and there's a man in scoring position, and that'll bring up Christian Michelson.
Michelson, a right-handed batter, 0 for 1 against post 22 this season, takes a strike on the outside corner. Post 22 beat the Scarlets back on Saturday, May the 6th. That was a 6-2 post 22 win in that game up in Billings. Here's the set by McSherry, the pitch, and it's a ball inside, 1 ball and 1 strike.
May 6th feels like it was 20 years ago, Tom. I can't believe it, that it was that long ago.
Michelson had 3 walks in that game and also an RBI, so he was on base 3 times via the walk. He swings and chops the foul off to the left, and it's 1 ball and 2 strikes on Michelson. We have the breeze again. It's kind of blowing out towards right field, mainly from the north, sometimes maybe from the northeast, blowing from the left field corner across towards the right field corner. But once again, it will help any ball hit to the air, at least into right field, maybe to center field. 1 ball, 2 strikes. The pitch on the way is popped up out into shallow right center field. It's Solano coming in to make the catch in shallow right center for the first out. 1 down in the Scarlet first inning. They have a runner at second. Here's Dylan Johnson, the catcher. Johnson was 0 for 3 against the Hardhats back in May. Had 1 walk in that game, a right-handed batter. Here's time called now as Johnson steps out. Tallman leads from second with 1 out. McSherry sets and throws way outside. A good stop by Timmy Paris, and it's ball 1.
Great stop by Paris, because if he doesn't get a glove to that, then Ben Tallman's on third, 90 feet away from drawing first blood against post 22.
Sumption in center is just a step towards left center field on the right-handed batting Johnson. McSherry's pitch. And it's a ball down low. 2 balls and no strikes. Here's McSherry out of the set again. He delivers. Misses outside at the knees, and the count runs to 3-0. 3 balls and no strikes to the Scarlets catcher. Riley sets and delivers. That's in for a strike, and it's 3-1. Bowman trying to keep Tolman close to second base. McSherry okays the sign. Here's the set. And the pitch on the way. Swung on and fouled out of play to the right. And it's 3 balls and 2 strikes. Billings collected just 6 hits. And there are 2 runs in that 6-2 loss to Post 22. Johnson waits. McSherry glances back at second. The payoff pitch is swung on and line foul off to the right. And it's still 3-2. Three balls and 2 strikes on Dylan Johnson. Tolman again off the bag at second. Sun kind of peeks through some of the clouds off to the west. Here's the set by McSherry. The pitch on the way is swung on, a little looper in the shallow right field. Here comes Solano to make the catch in towards the foul line and guns his throw towards third base. So Johnson flies to shallow right over near the foul line, 2 down. Tolman has to hold at second. It brings up Clay Siebel, the third baseman.
I kind of started laughing a little bit when Tolman decided to try and leave second at first. He took a couple of steps towards third, and Zach Solano decided to unload that cruise missile from right field. That ball got to Justin Kramer in less than 2 seconds, and if Tolman had even looked at third, he was dead to rights.
Siebel is a big right-handed batter. He didn't play in that first game against Post 22 very early in the season. Pitch on the way, and it's a strike on the outside corner. So Tolman still at second base. He had the leadoff double here in the top half of the first. Now there are 2 outs. McSherry from the set. He delivers. And it's a ball outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. In that trip to Billings, the Hardhats played the Scarlets once. They played the Royals twice. And their other game was against Missoula. In fact, that was the first loss of this season. Here's the pitch. And a belt-high strike on the outside corner. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Siebel.
Riley just approached 15 pitches, so this next one will be 16 in this first inning, in which he's faced conceivably 4 batters. If Siebel keeps the inning going, it'll obviously be more.
1 ball and 2 strikes. Here's the pitch on the way. Strike 3 on the outside corner at the knees. A good pitch there by McSherry. And he records his first strikeout. So the Scarlets get the leadoff double from Tolman, but failed to score. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 man left on base. First half inning of play, the Scarlets failed to score. Post 22 coming to bat. And you're listening to Post 22 Baseball from the Anytime Auto Sales Press Box on ESPN Radio, Rapid City.
Great faces, great places. Wet paint? Yep. And around here, when great places need a little love, great faces band together. Each year, First Interstate Bank employees help local organizations put a fresh coat of paint on homes of those in need. A small gesture, perhaps, but one that puts smiles on faces and strengthens bonds in the places we serve. First Interstate Bank. It's you and I together.
So it is no score as we go to the bottom half of the first inning. The Hardhats' Walker Paz will be leading off.
Walker Paz is going to face the starting pitcher, Cole DeVries, on the mound for the Billings Scarlets. Defensively for Billings, he is surrounded by his battery mate and catcher, Dylan Johnson, Cole Kramer at first base, Sam Barry at second base, Max Spickard at shortstop, and in the hot corner at third is Clay Siebel. Left to right in the outfield, Christian Michelson, Braden Upert, and Peyton Stovall.
Number 11, second baseman, Walker Paz.
Walker Paz starts things off. The left-handed batting post 22 second baseman, hitting .372 on the season. 3 home runs for Walker, 35 RBIs. DeVries' first pitch is hit up the middle for a base hit. To the right of second base, a hot shot through the box, and it's a base hit for Paz. And Walker is on.
Both leadoff gentlemen in this game, one pitch, and they're already on base. So, obviously, they like what they saw in that first pitch. They've got an attack mentality, and it's led to the first man aboard.
You know, there's one thing about Walker I noticed, and I could be off on this, as the pitch comes high and off the mid of the catcher Johnson, and Paz goes to second. Probably a pass ball there on Johnson, as the ball was high, but Johnson got a lot of his mid on it, but couldn't stop it completely. So Justin Kramer, hitting .368, has a 1-ball count. 3 homers and 34 RBIs. Here's the pitch. And it's a ball outside. It seems to me Walker will swing at that first pitch, his first at bat, more than he will when it's up for a second or third time. I don't know if that's statistics will play that out, but it sure seems that way. There's a fastball through for a strike to Kramer, and it's 2 balls and 1 strike.
I think it's safe to say I've noticed that same trend. I completely agree with that.
Here's the pitch. Strike 2 on the low outside corner.
That just shows me in his first at-bat he's looking for a first-pitch fastball. He's the leadoff guy, so obviously you want to start off with the first-pitch strike. A lot of times you're going to do that with a fastball. So good on Walker for identifying that pattern if that's the case.
Here's the pitch. Runner goes, and a bouncing foul down and back. Paz took off towards third. Kramer fouled the pitch off, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Cooper Bowman is on deck. And now time is called. Again, there will be a doubleheader here tomorrow. It'll be a 1 o'clock, 2 games. 1 o'clock doubleheader. DeVries turns towards second. Nobody covering the bag. Paz is at second. Nobody out. The last half of the first inning, no score. Kramer with a count of 2 balls, 2 strikes. DeVries turns. Now they have Paz picked off at second. And DeVries is playing that perfectly. He ran the runner down and the tag out at third base. Did you see how DeVries played that? We've seen that happen so often where the pitcher stands on top of the mound and then he elects to throw to first base or whatever. DeVries ran at the base runner Paz, who was trapped off the bag, forcing Paz to commit to one base or the other, and they got the pick off.
165 in the scorebook on that one, and like you said, brilliantly drawn up.
And the pitch is a ball low and inside to Kramer, so Justin has a full count now. 3 balls and 2 strikes. And the pitch. Swung out, a ground ball up the middle, and that's going to go into center field for a base hit. Just to the left of second base, Kramer has a base hit. So he's at first now with 1 out. And Cooper Bowman coming up the shortstop.
It's interesting when we're pointing out patterns here, Tom. I think people are starting to catch on to that delayed steal that the Hardhats try to employ, and I think it was just poor timing on Walker Paz's part, considering that DeVries, he triple checks, double checks the second all the time.
And there's one other thing that comes into play on that, and that's how well you're coached. And I think right there is a good example that the Billings Scarlets have a good coaching staff. We've seen that play screwed up by so many tiny teams this year. Pitch is down low to Cooper Bowman, leading the team in hitting at .395, 7 home runs, 61 RBIs leads the team. He's got a 2 RBI lead over his on-deck teammate, Zach Solano. Takes a strike on the low outside corner, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike. Kramer, the runner at first base, with 1 out. Justin is 17 out of 18 in stolen bases this year, and DeVries drives him back to the bag. And the runner goes. The pitch high and outside. To throw to second base. The tag and safe at second base is Kramer. I did notice Justin slid to the outfield side of the second base bag, and that may have been the slide that got him in there safely. Very close play at second.
Very close play at second. If that is the reason that he's safe, then credit him for adjusting on the fly.
Bowman hits a ground ball to second, bobbled by the second baseman, who recovers and throws to first just in time. Barry throwing out Bowman second to first. It wasn't an easy out as Barry fumbled the ball, but just nipped Cooper at first base. So 2 outs, and Zach Solano comes up now with a runner at third base. 2 outs for post 22. Solano hitting .370, leading the team in home runs with 8. Second in RBIs with 59. Takes a pitch high for ball 1. DeVries, a quick worker, delivers. Down low and outside. 2 balls and no strikes. DeVries did not pitch in that game, which Rapid City won earlier in the year. Here's the pitch on the way, and it is low. And the count runs to 3 balls and no strikes in Solano. Zach Sumption on deck.
Very hard to pitch to Zach when you understand that he can hit anywhere and he can hit for power. .358 average with runners in scoring position, and he's got 190 feet to his left.
Strike just on the outside corner. Zach was ready to go to first base, and it's 3-1.
Oh, heck, I was ready to signal him to first base.
2 outs. Here's the pitch. Swinging and a foul back. And we have a full count.
By the way, not too long ago, DeVries eclipsed 15 pitches himself, so now he's at 17. And could make it 18 to end off the inning if he strikes out Solano here.
3 balls, 2 strikes. The payoff pitch. Low for ball 4. So Solano walks. Kramer at third. Solano at first with 2 outs here in the last half of the first inning. And Zach Sumption coming up. Zach at .379, 3 homers and 35 RBIs. Post 22 trying to break through here in the bottom half of the first inning on senior night. Sun peeking through the clouds again. Here's the set and the pitch. And it's a strike on the outside corner. One strike the count and a throw to first base. See if Mitch Messer tries anything here. Johnson, the catcher, showed a good arm earlier in the inning. Pitch on the way, strike on the low outside corner, and it's 0-2 on Sumption.
Well, if you're trying anything with Zach, he's 24 for 27 on the year with regard to stolen bases. He's got a 2-strike count here, so maybe we do see some movement.
Kramer leads from third. Solano from first. The 2-strike pitch is swung on, lined out into right field. Over goes Stovall to make the catch. Sumption lines out to Stovall, running over into right center to grab the ball. No runs for post 22 on 2 hits, and they leave 2 men on base. First inning of play. The Scarlets nothing, the Hardhats nothing, and you're listening to post 22 baseball from the Anytime Auto Sales Press Box on ESPN Radio, Rapid City. So we go to the top half of the second. And it will be Sam Berry, the second baseman, leading off for the Scarlets. Cole Kramer, the first baseman. Then Max Spickard, the shortstop.
Quick pitch count comparison here, Tom, because this has been a storyline for us the last couple of games. Cole DeVries finished the first inning facing 5 batters and went 21 pitches. Riley McSherry on the other side faced 4 batters and went 16. So 16, that's not terrible for 1 inning, 4 pitches and at bat, you think, given that he only faced 4. And one of them was a 1-pitch at bat. The other one went the distance, a full count with a foul and some change.
Sam Berry, a right-handed batter, takes the fastball high from Riley McSherry for ball 1. Berry 0 for 3 in that early game against the Hardhats. Here's the 1-0 pitch. And Riley misses low and outside, 2 balls and no strikes.
Riley had a lot of movement on that last pitch going down and away from the right-handed batter.
Outfield straight away. And there's a strike as he clips the outside corner to Berry, belt high, and it's 2-1. Scarlets getting a leadoff double from Tallman in the first inning, but failed to score. There's a ground ball hit to the right side, fielded by second baseman Paz, and the throw to first base for the out. 1 down in the Scarlets' second. That'll bring up Cole Kramer, the first baseman.
Ball, it looked like it was almost hit off the end of the bat there by Berry, so good on Riley to go for that outside part. Berry obviously threw his hands at the ball trying to protect on a 2-1 and ended up going right there to second.
Kramer is a right-handed batter. Takes a strike on the low outside corner. He didn't have any at-bats earlier against Post 22. 1 strike the count. McSherry's pitch on the way. Swung on, lined on 1 hop to shortstop Bowman on the edge of the outfield grass. The long throw to first is not held by first baseman Ferdinand. So a tough break there as Bowman made a good throw to go through to his right to get to that ball. He's on the edge of the outfield grass, and the ball looked like it was in Ferdinand's mitt and then popped out. So the air will probably go on Luke at first base.
I think that's exactly what they're ruling. The second I saw the error come up, it was either going to be a very closely played infield single or an error on Luke.
Pitch is down in the dirt to Max Spickard, the shortstop, number 7 hitter for the Scarlets. 1 ball and no strikes.
And it was a very close exchange at first, Tom, but you've got a point there. If Luke's able to scoop that up, if he's able to trap it in his mitt, it's an out every way you look at it.
Here's the set and the pitch. Strike on the low inside corner. Well, the ball, from where I was watching, appeared to be in the mitt of Ferdinand. And it wasn't like he was trying to short hop it. It was a low throw, no question about that. You know, I could see if somebody wanted to give Bowman the air on the throw. But since Luke appeared to have it, and then it popped out. There's a hard ground ball foul off through the left, and the count is 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Riley threw that changeup in there, and Spickard was way ahead of it. He pulled that ball so foul on it because Riley's been locating his breaking pitch as well. He's not taking speed off of his breaking pitches, but he's locating them well, decides to throw the changeup in there for one of the very few times he's done so tonight. Spickard ends up fouling it off.
Here's the pitch, and a big bouncer to Kramer at third. The throw to second for 1. The relay to first in time for the double play. The 52nd double play of the season for Post 22. Around the horn, third to second to first. No runs, no hits, 1 error, and nobody left on base. We go to the bottom of the second. The Scarlets and the Hardhats are no score. From the Anytime Auto Sales press box, you're listening to Post 22 Baseball on ESPN Radio, Rapid City.
Camping World is here to help you connect to adventure and explore the outdoors with friends and family, offering new and pre-owned RVs to fit every budget and thousands of parts and accessories for any need. Camping World has it all. With over 125 supercenters nationwide, you're never far from America's #1 RV dealer. No matter where your adventures take you, whether you need an RV, parts, or service, Camping World is here to help you every step of the way. Visit Camping World in Rapid City or shop campingworld.com today.
Why do so many business people trust us? Well, we're pretty nice folks, of course, and we really know our stuff. Black Hills Insurance, a tradition of service since 1949.
Todd Stevens leading off for Post 22 here. In the last half of the second, no score, hitting .417. 1 home run, 18 RBIs. 48 official at-bats for Todd on the season. He's starting to get more and more, of course, here at the end of the season. He hits a foul back to the screen for strike one.
I know we've said it the last couple of broadcasts in which Todd's played, but the most impressive thing about Todd that Coach Messer will point out is he doesn't get in the batting order often. He doesn't get in the lineup often, but when you put him in there, he just simply finds a way to make things happen.
Pitch is inside for a ball. It's 1-1. Todd has 20 hits on the season, half of them for extra bases. He has 9 doubles and 1 home run out of his 20 hits and 48 at-bats. .417 average. Right-handed batter, but DeVries delivers another foul back, and the count is 1-2.
And it's people like that that you need bought in and that you need on board when it comes time for the state championship and for regional, maybe even a World Series. Those guys can be your unsung heroes on your roster.
Here's the pitch on the way. Swung on to third. 2 hops to Siebel. The throw across the diamond to first is scooped out by Kramer. Third to first retires Todd Stevens. 1 down in the last of the second for Post 22, and that brings up the catcher, Timmy Paris. Timmy at .292 on the season. 4 home runs, 47 RBIs. Boy, he really hit a home run up in Dickinson.
He absolutely crushed it over the left field wall. That was a fun one to watch.
Here's the pitch. And it's down and in for ball 1.
That's the funny thing on Timmy's home runs. It is not to say that everybody else that's hit one on this team hasn't hit one with just solid raw power. But anytime Timmy's hit has left the ballpark, it's a towering hit that it could clear the Green Monster if it wanted to.
Here's the pitch. Fastball in at the knees for a strike. 2-1. 1 out, and the base is empty here in the last half of the second. No score. And a pitch down low, and it's 3-1. You know, the state regional, which Post 22 would normally play in, begins today. They're playing in Mitchell. 3 balls and a strike, and the pitch to Paris is lined to right field. Stovall won't get to it. It's over near the foul line for a base hit, and Timmy will check in at first with a 1-out single. Hit number 3 for Post 22.
Nice hit by Timmy. Went opposite field with it. Didn't look like the most powerful hit in the world. He got it off the end of his bat, it looked like, but threw his hands out at the ball on 3-1. And every single time for a right-handed batter, you just kind of throw your hands out and you extend. You're going to push it opposite field.
And the batter, Luke Ferdinand, takes a pitch down and in for ball 1. Luke, who missed the entire weekend series up in Dickinson because of his brother's wedding, is hitting .308, no homers and 20 RBIs. Left-handed batter. Fastball swung on, lifted high in the air out into left center field. And Mickelson to his left makes the catch in left center for out number 2. And that'll bring up Jack Sorensen. In that regional in Mitchell, The Rapid City Post 320 Stars have won. They defeated Sturgis by a score of 8-2. Of course, they'll send another team to the state tournament here. Here's the pitch on the way, and it's a strike called. In fact, 2 teams will come from that region. Sorensen at 292, 3 home runs, 31 RBIs for Jack. He had a couple of hits in his last game up in Dickinson. Pitch on the way, and it's down low and away.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Tom, but 2 will automatically make it from that tournament, and then the 3rd will play in a play-in to get in. Is that? I believe that's how it's gone the last couple of years that I've been doing this.
1 ball and 1 strike. The pitch on the way, and that's a fastball right over for a strike. 1-2 on Sorensen. Paris at first and 2 out. Here's the set again now by DeVries. A 1-2 pitch, and he misses outside, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. And the pitch is a strike at the knees to Sorensen, and he is called out. So DeVries gets Sorensen on strikes, his first K of the game. No runs on a hit. Post 22, Strands 1. So we've played 2 here at Fitzgerald Stadium. The Billings Scarlets nothing, and Post 22 nothing. You're listening to Post 22 Baseball from the Anytime Auto Sales Press Box on ESPN Radio.
With more than 300 pediatric experts in 35 specialty areas, Sanford Children's offers the care that matters to your family. At the Castle of Care, we are committed to bringing in the latest and most advanced technology and services to care for your children. And having the largest team of specialists in the region means your child can receive expert, individualized care close to home. At Sanford Children's, we promise to put your family first. To learn more, visit childrens.sanfordhealth.org.
Riley McSherry through 2 innings has given up 1 hit. He has 1 strikeout. The stat I like, no walks.
Wow. How about that?
Leading off number 1, center fielder, Braden Cooper.
Braden Hupert, the center fielder, leading off. Hupert, a right-handed batter, swings and misses for strike 1. He had a very good game against Post 22 earlier. He went 2 for 4 in their loss and had a double and a triple in that game. He's been dropped to 8th, so he probably hasn't been hitting as well. Ground ball to Kramer at 3rd. He gloves it and throws on over to Ferdinand for the out. Rupert out 3rd to 1st, 1 down, and brings up Peyton Stovall.
Right fielder, Peyton Stovall.
Stovall, a right-handed batter. Here's McSherry's pitch. And it is down low and outside for ball 1. Another final from that state regional. Pierre beat Mitchell by a score of 8-3. Here's the pitch. Strike on the low outside corner to Stovall. It's 1-1. And the pitch down low and away. 2 balls and a strike. Outfield is straight away. McSherry's pitch, swing and a miss. And it's 2-2. And the pitch. Swung on a foul back to the screen. Ignore that score I just gave you, the pure 8-3 win over Mitchell. That score was accurate. It was from last year at this time.
Oh.
Some sites are not as updated as other sites. But the post 320 score was correct. There's strike 3 on the low inside corner to Stovall. So Riley gets his second strikeout. 2 outs, nobody on, and Ben Tallman coming up, the leadoff hitter, the DH.
That's 2 backwards Ks in the book for Riley. So obviously his pitch location's good. He's got great movement on his pitches. He's throwing for good velocity too, and I like his selection. He's really mixing it up against these Scarlets hitters.
Well, Tallman with his double to center in the first inning hit it over the head of center fielder Sumption. And McSherry's pitch. And a strike on the outside corner. You know, Riley, looking at him and comparing his performance in Dickinson, it looks like he's throwing those pitches on the exact same part of the plate, but they were called balls in Dickinson. Swing and a miss, a breaking ball away, and it's 0-2. And talking with Riley after that game, he said that he felt the home plate umpire was not giving either him or Colton Sherbinski the outside part of the plate, either umpire in that doubleheader. There's a foul back, and Tallman keeps the strike account of 0-2. But like Riley said, I've got to figure out then what he will call for strikes, and that's exactly right.
Well, obviously, Yogi Milslagel's calling those pitches on the outside, which is good. That's influencing how these Scarlet hitters are protecting the plate.
And Riley misses outside, 1-2. And Yogi Milslagel as an umpire has always, since I've watched him umpire for years, always given the pitchers the outside part of the plate. That's nothing new for him. 1 ball and 2 strikes. The pitch on the way. It's inside and a breaking ball, and it's 2-2.
Well, that breaking ball worked very well for Riley, because if it didn't break like he had planned, then he's got a hit by pitch and a runner on first with 2 outs. So that ball had some serious movement on it. Good to see that he's keeping those breaking pitches up to par, but that was a little too close.
Here's the 2-2 pitch with 2 out. Swung on, a bouncing ball in the hole to left field, a base hit. So Tallman is 2 for 2 as he bounces a single through the left side of the infield. And Christian Mickelson comes up. He flied to right center his first time up. He's 0 for 5. Michelson, the hitter. Scarlets in their scarlet uniforms. Red tops, white pants. People say I don't pick up on things. There's a ground ball hit to Kramer. He knocks it down with his chest, recovers, fires to Ferdinand for the out. Nice play by Justin to stay with that hard-hit ground ball. Third to first to get Mickelson. No runs, 1 hit, and 1 man left on base. At the end of 2.5, it's the Billings Scarlets nothing, Post 22 nothing. Post 22 baseball exclusively throughout the summer from the Anytime Auto Sales Press Box on ESPN Radio Rapid City.
You don't have to try to hit a home run when you're hitting singles and doubles all day. Consistency wins games, and it's key to helping achieve your retirement goals. At Weitzel Financial Group, they believe they're there to help with your own ideals and goals. Head toward your field of dreams. Call Weitzel Financial Group for a consultation at 348-1152. Kurt Weitzel is a registered representative and investment advisor representative with and offers securities and advisory services through Commonwealth Financial Network member FINRA SIPC, a registered investment advisor. Weitzel Financial Group, 817 9th Street, Rapid City, South Dakota, 57701.
Walker Paz leads off in the last half of the 3rd inning for Post 22. Walker singled to center his first at bat. Kramer and Bowman to follow. Cole DeVries in 2 innings, 3 hits, 1 strikeout, 1 walk. Got a big pickoff in the first inning at second base of Walker Paz, who steps in. As we said, 1 for 1 with a single to center. Sharp ground ball hit to the right of second base. He went after the first pitch in that first inning. So DeVries stretches and delivers, high and outside for ball 1. And the pitch is a ball, and it's 2-0. And a strike, and it's 2-1. And the pitch. There's a looper out in the left center field, running over and catching up with it, and not being able to catch it, though, is Mickelson, the left fielder, and heading to second base is Paz. How he didn't catch that, I don't know. He was over there. It's going to be scored a double for Paz, his 18th double of the season, which leads the team.
That did look a little awkward, Tom. I think you're onto something there because he clearly caught up to the trajectory of where that ball was going to land. And how he didn't come up with that, I don't know. Maybe he misjudged it. Something distracted him and he lost it. I don't know, but that was very awkward.
Pitch low and outside to Justin Kramer for a ball 1. Justin singled up the middle just to the left of second base, his first at bat. No score here in the last half of the third inning. Post 22 in the Billings Scarlets. Paz is at second, nobody out. And DeVries looks back towards second at Paz. Walker, of course, picked off. He tried that delayed steal. He thought that DeVries was ready to start his windup, but he left too early, and DeVries made a fine play getting him out in the rundown. Swing and a miss by Kramer. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Like you said, that was all started by DeVries. He ran to Paz. He didn't just immediately throw it, ran to him, and ended up getting him.
There's a bunt towards third. That's a base hit. Picked up by DeVries. No play. There we see Justin Kramer with a beautiful bunt single up the third baseline, about a third of the way towards third base.
That ball died. It took maybe 3 bounces, if that, and it just died and stopped. And neither the catcher in Johnson or DeVries on the mound was going to catch up to that to make any kind of close play at first. So good on Justin to not only lay it down, but lay it down to the point where it took 2 bounces, died, and he was able to take first, no ifs, ands, or buts.
Cooper Bowman grounded out to second his first time up. And DeVries fires over to first, and Kramer is back. So post 22 now with 5 hits in the game. Have runners at the corners and nobody out, trying to take the lead here in the last half of the third inning. Another throw to first, and Kramer is back. Cooper leading the team in RBIs with 61. Here's the pitch. Fastball right over for a strike. 0-1 on Bowman. Hupert just a step or two towards left center, out in center field. The pitch to Bowman. He swings and drills this one to center. Hupert is there. He'll make the catch almost in his tracks. It'll be a sacrifice fly as Paz comes in to score. And Cooper drives in his 62nd run of the season with a sacrifice fly to center and a 1-0 post-22 lead here in the last half of the third inning.
Nice solid hit by Cooper. You'd like to see him get a little more rewarded for good contact like that with a base hit, but nonetheless, he draws first blood. Now the Hardhats have the lead, and they have a chance to even pile more on with Solano up.
Zach walked in the first inning. He swings and misses. 0-1 the count. Kramer holding with Justin Kramer at first base.
No relation there.
Cole Kramer, the first baseman for the Scarlets. Swung on a high foul off to the right out of play. DeVries ahead of Solano. No balls and 2 strikes. Kramer off the bag at first. Here's the pitch, and it's high. And the catcher throws down to first, Johnson, but Kramer is back. One nothing. Post 22's taking the lead here in the last half of the 3rd inning. The pitch on the way. Swing and a foul back. And the count runs along at a ball and 2 strikes. Now DeVries ready. The 1-2 pitch. Fastball just missed inside, belt high, and it's 2-2. Good example there where Yogi Milslegel will be more apt to call the outside corner than the inside corner. 2 balls, 2 strikes. The pitch on the way, and that's high and outside, and Johnson throws to first again, and Kramer is back. So it's a full count on Solano with 1 out. Let's see what Kramer does here on this 3-2 pitch off of first base. Here's the pitch. He stays, and the pitch is fouled back. A breaking ball away from Solano. And it's still a full count.
Nice little battle here for Solano. It's racking the pitch count of DeVries up, which is right now at 53, soon to be 54, after he throws the next one right towards number 13.
Here's the set by DeVries. The pitch on the way. It swung on and hit high in the air. Shallow right field. Out goes the second baseman on the outfield grass, and Barry grabs it for the 2nd out. So 2 outs as Solano flies out to Barry, the second baseman, in shallow right field. And that brings up Zach Sumption, who lined out to right his first at bat. Here's the pitch. Outside a ball. 1 ball on Sumption. And the throw to first base. Post 22 came into the game with a .336 team batting average. Pitch is high and outside, and the count to Sumption now is 2-0. They might have to turn the lights on here pretty soon. Here's the set. A pitch on the way. It swung on and missed. The pitch down. 2-1 on Sumption. Now DeVries ready. Looks at Kramer at first, delivers. And it's a strike on the outside corner to Sumption. 2 balls, 2 strikes. A run on 2 hits here in this 3rd inning for Post 22. They have a run on 5 hits in the game. The 2-2 pitch is outside for ball 3.
Here's your payoff pitch.
3-2 the count. Pretty good crowd tonight, considering a lot of people didn't know what was going on. Great jump by Kramer, but the pitch is outside, and Sumption walks. So Justin Kramer at second, Sumption's at first. That's the 2nd walk issued by DeVries. And it brings up Todd Stevens, the left fielder, who grounded out to third his first at bat. Runners at first and second. DeVries delivers. Swung on a high foul off to the left. 1 strike.
DeVries has had quite the volume of pitches in this inning. That was just number 61 overall, but he came into this inning with 37. So he's already at 24 by my math. This is by far his highest volume in a single inning in this game.
And no throw made to second base. 1-0, the Hardhats leading here in the last half of the third inning.
Compare that to Riley McSherry, 16 in the first, 10 in the second, 15 in the third. He's at 41.
Here's the pitch. Swung on a high fly ball into right center field. Backing off is Stovall. He's under it out there. He has it for the third out. So Stevens flies out. Post 22 settles for 1 run on a couple of hits in the third inning. No Billings errors and 2 men left on. Hardhats have stranded 5 through the first 3 innings. We'll swing over to Mark for the start of the 4th inning when we return with the Hardhats leading the Scarlets 1-0 at the end of 3. You're listening to Post 22 Baseball from the Anytime Auto Sales Press Box on ESPN Radio.
Trusted Choice Insurance agents are independent agents.
I pledge to be your guide, not only to insurance, but to insurance companies.
They don't actually work for any one insurance company.
And to use my independence to identify the coverage that's best for you.
This means they can customize policies from several companies in ways that other agents just can't. And they commit to that.
And I pledge.
In writing. Trusted Choice. You need an independent insurance agent.
Black Hills Insurance Agency, a tradition of service since 1949.
Lights have just turned on at Floyd Fitzgerald Stadium. That means it's getting dark, and it means that our game is progressing at a decent pace so far. We've played 3 innings. We're about to play the top half of the 4th. And after 3 out of 7 in regulation, Post 22 has a 1-0 lead over the Billings Scarlets. Numbers across the board for the Hardhats. Currently in the lead, it's a run on 5 hits with just 1 error. And on the other side for the Scarlets, it's no runs on 2 hits and no errors to speak of. Mark Benetti and Tom Rudebush alongside you for all the action in the final home series of the regular season. Heck, it's the final series of the regular season, period. Hard to believe we're at this point. Game number 54 out of what will eventually be 56 regular season games. Hardhats with a 46-7 record. And they are currently holding on to a 1-0 lead over the Billings Scarlets. Dylan Johnson, the catcher, is the first man up here in the top of the 4th. And he looks at a first pitch strike from Riley McSherry, about to start his 4th inning in his start. McSherry is about to throw his 43rd pitch. He's been very efficient through 3 innings. And the 0-1 is a called strike on an off-speed pitch to the outside corner. 0-2. Riley McSherry utilizing that changeup to a T. 0-2 from McSherry to Johnson. Just missed outside, and the count's 1-2. McSherry thought he had his 3rd backwards K of the evening, but Yogi Milslegel, the home plate umpire, signaled the ball, so Riley's got to keep throwing. 1-2 pitch. Misses low. And the count evens up at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. Swung on, and that ball is hit high in the air to center field. Trotting to his left is Zach Sumption. Gloves flashed, and he makes the catch. F7 in the scorebook for those scoring with us at home. 1 up, 1 down, and that'll bring up Clay Siebel, the 3rd baseman. Siebel on the ball game for Billings is 0 for 1. He was the first of what are currently 2 strikeouts by Riley McSherry, both of them by virtue of window shopping, or a called 3rd strike. First pitch to Siebel. Nice changeup for strike 1, called at his knees. 0-1 the count. Again, Riley utilizing that changeup more as the game goes on. No balls and a strike the count to Billings' 3rd baseman. Here's the 0-1. Called strike. Low outside corner, and it's 0-2. Riley had some movement on that last pitch. Sam Berry, the 2nd baseman's on deck for Billings. Hardhats with a 1-0 lead, looking to keep it that way. 0-2 pitch is fouled by Siebel, and he stays alive. No one on the base path and 1 out here in the top of the 4th. Hardhats with that 1-0 lead over the Billings Scarlets. No balls, 2 strikes to count here to Clay Siebel. And his 0-2 pitch. Swung on, and the ball's hit high in the air to right. Zach Solano is on the run, and the ball just drops fair for a base hit. So Siebel has a one-out single. He just pushed a flare over to right. So there's a man on with one out here in the top of the fourth for Billings, and that'll bring up Sam Berry, the second baseman. Just the third hit of the ball game for the Scarlets. Berry comes up with a man on first, one out here in the top of the fourth. He's 0 for 1 in the ball game. Led off the top of the second with a ground out to second at Walker Paz. McSherry just eclipsed 50 pitches, by the way, in this start. We're in the top of the fourth. First pitch, swung on and missed. Berry was way ahead of that off-speed pitch, 0-1. If the double play doesn't end the inning, Cole Kramer, the first baseman's on deck, and he reached on an error back in the second. 0-1 pitch. Misses low, Paris with a block, and holding it first is Siebel. Count evens up at a ball and a strike for Berry. Siebel on first with that flare of a single to right. Just made it inside the foul line by about 2 feet, I'd say. Very tight. Here's the 1-1. Missed low and away, and the count goes to 2 balls and a strike to Berry. Two and 1 the count. McSherry looks at Siebel on first. Not that big of a lead. And the 2-1 pitch to Berry. Called, strike at his knees, outside corner. And the count evens up at 2-2 for the Billings second baseman. Man on first, one out here in the top of the fourth. The go-ahead run is at the plate for Billings, and Riley will step off the rubber. Tying runs aboard. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Sam Berry. McSherry will pitch from the stretch, and he deals. Swung on, and the ball's hit high in the air to shallow right. Solano's on his horse. He makes the catch. Throw it at first is not in time. Zach Solano thought he had an F9-3 double play, and instead Clay Siebel just got back. So 2 outs, a man on first, and that'll bring up Cole Kramer, the first baseman for the Scarlets. Very, very close play at first, and Solano's got a rocket over there in right. So it was a good idea to try and get the double play. Kramer 0 for 1, reached on an error, and he looks at a first pitch strike on a breaking ball called at his knees. 0-1 the count. If he keeps the inning going, then Max Pickard's on deck, hit into a 5-4-3 double play to end the top of the second. It's a man on first, with 2 outs here in the top of the fourth. 1-0 Hardhats lead. 0-1, swung on and missed on a changeup that Kramer was way ahead of. 0-2. Riley's pitch variety has been solid, but no one's been able to locate the changeup. 0-2 pitch. Just inside, and the count goes to a ball and 2 strikes. McSherry's a pitch away from what would be his 3rd strikeout in this start. Just shy of a strikeout per inning at that point if he accomplishes the task against Cole Kramer. Man on first, not that big a lead. 2 outs, top of the fourth. 1-2 pitch is fouled. And Kramer will see the 60th pitch of this start come from McSherry on his 1-2 pitch. McSherry agrees on a sign. He'll pitch from the stretch. A look at first. 1-2 pitch. Missed low and away, and the count evens up 2-2. If Kramer is the final out for Billings in this inning, then the Hardhats will see 7, 8, and 9 scheduled to hit in the bottom of the fourth. That's Timmy Paris, Luke Ferdinand, and Jack Sorensen. A combined 1 for 3. Paris the lone hit. That was a 1-out single back in the second. 2-2 pitch. Swung on, and that ball's lined into left field, and it'll drop for a base hit. So everyone will advance 90 feet. Clay Siebel's on second, and Cole Kramer takes a 2-out single to left. So men on first and second, and that'll bring up Max Pickard, the shortstop, who grounded into a 5-4-3 double play back in the top half of the second inning to end that half of the second. So 2 men out, 2 men on the base path for him, 1 on first, 1 on second. McSherry looking to get out of the inning here. Hardhats have a 1-0 lead. He's looking to keep it that way. But now he has a runner in scoring position to play it with. And the first pitch to Spickard misses low and away for ball 1. Braden Upert, the center fielder's on deck. He's 0 for 1 with a ground out to third. Ball and no strikes, the count to Spickard. And the pitch misses outside on a fastball. It's 2-0. Two hits in the inning for the Scarlets. They have 4 in the ball game now. Both men on the base path earned their way on with singles. 2-0 pitch. Swung on and the ball's fouled to the right of our press box. And it's 2-1 now to Max Spickard, the shortstop. Spickard 0 for 1. A base hit would either load the bases up or it would score one and tie the ball game at 1. 2 balls and a strike is count. McSherry from the stretch deals, and it's outside, 3-1. Now McSherry seeing a very high volume of pitches. He's at 24 right now in this inning, and at 65 overall. So he's running into a little pitch count trouble here. Tom and I tracking up to 75 pitches, which requires 4 days of rest in the postseason. 3-1 pitch. Swung on, and that ball's hit high in the air. Foul territory, first base side. Luke Ferdinand calls everyone off, and he makes the catch, and that'll do it. So a big pop 3 in the scorebook to end the threat. No runs on a pair of hits. No errors charged to post 22. And 2 men were left on the base path for the Scarlets, one of which was in scoring position. We've played half of regulation. 3.5 innings out of 7 have been completed. Post 22 still holds on to a narrow 1-0 lead over the Billings Scarlets. Timmy Paris will lead off the bottom of the 4th. We'll have his at-bat and more in just a few moments. From the Anytime Auto Sales Press Box, you're listening to Post 22 Baseball here on ESPN Radio, Rapid City.
Coke Zero goes with things like this. This. And this. Coke Zero tastes like this.
He shoots! He scores!
It sounds like this. It feels like this. So when the game is on, try it with this. Coke Zero. Real Coca-Cola taste. 0 calories, 0 sugar.
Well, we're at halftime of the ball game, if you will. 3.5 innings out of 7 have been played. And the Hardhats still have a 1-0 lead. They are back to the sticks. Timmy Paris, the catcher, Luke Ferdinand, the first baseman, Jack Sorensen, the designated hitter, are scheduled to hit for the Hardhats. Numbers across the board through half of regulation. For post 22, it's a run on 5 hits with 1 error on the field. And on the other side of things for the Billings Scarlets, it's no runs on 4 hits with no errors to speak of on defense. Mark Benetti and Tom Rudebush alongside you for all the action in the final home series of the regular season. First pitch to Timmy Paris is swung on, and it's lined into left field for a base hit. So Timmy Paris leads off the bottom of the 4th with a single against Cole DeVries, starting pitcher who is still out on the mound for the Scarlets. That'll bring us to the left-handed hitting first baseman, Luke Ferdinand.
You know, both the Expos and the Bullets are playing over in the Junior Legion Regional in Pierre tonight.
First pitch to Ferdinand misses low for a ball 1.
And they played each other.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Wow.
And the Bullets beat the Expos 8-1.
Wow.
Now, the Expos are leading the post 320 shooting stars, or I believe they call them, 8-3 in the 4th inning of the Expos game that they had to win.
1 ball, no strikes the count to Ferdinand. And the pitch rides upstairs, 2-0. That's Bullets over the Expos. There's got to be some bragging rights involved with that, no? Maybe? No intra-organization rivalry going on there? Ferdinand hits one up the middle as Tom did not want to touch that question with a 20-foot pole. So everybody advances 90 feet. It'll be Paris on second. He got on with a single. Ferdinand singles right after him. He's on first. Men on first and second, and that'll bring up Jack Sorensen, the DH.
Might be a bunt situation here for Sorensen with the first 2 men on and nobody out here in the Last half of the fourth, the Hardhats leading 1-0.
Very tight game at that, and there is Jack with the square, and Jack punches it down the third base side, but the ball's fumbled, and Sorensen's going to be safe. Trying to come in and scoop it at third was Clay Siebel. He charged in, and he couldn't make a play on it, and now it's bases loaded and no one out, and Walker Paz, the leadoff man, is up. And that'll be an E5 on Siebel.
But credit a sacrifice for Sorensen and no at bat. He would get a sacrifice bunt, but an error on the third baseman allows him to reach. So the bases are loaded with nobody out.
So Paris on third, Ferdinand on second, Sorensen on first. And it brings us to Walker Paz, who's 2 for 2. A single, a double, and a run scored in this ballgame. Halfway to the cycle. Here's his first pitch. Low and inside, ball 1. Every base is occupied for the Hardhats second baseman. It's a 1-0 game, and 0 outs have been recorded by the Scarlets defense. And because of how tight this ball game is at 1-0, the Scarlets infield's right on the grass. 1-0 to Paz. Misses low, and it's 2-0.
Kind of surprises me a little bit that they're in at this stage of the game and still in the fourth inning. It's a 1-0 game, but
2-0 to Paz. Misses outside, and it's 3-0.
Ground ball hit through the infield. With the drawn up infield, it's a 3-0 game.
3 balls, no strikes. And DeVries deals to Paz, a called strike inside at his knees, and it's 3-1. Bases are loaded for post 22, and for left-handed hitting second baseman Walker Paz. No one out here in the bottom of the fourth. 3-1 pitch, a called strike at his belt on the outside corner, and all of a sudden, the plot thickens and it's a full count. And here comes the payoff pitch from DeVries. Low and inside, ball 4. An RBI base on balls for Walker Paz, and the Hardhats lead is now 2-0. Bases loaded, no one out here in the bottom of the fourth. And that will bring up Justin Kramer. So Paris scores. Ferdinand's now on third. Sorensen's now on second, and Walker Paz occupies first. Kramer on the ballgame, 2 for 2. And he looks at a first pitch ball, and it's 1-0. He has a pair of singles, one of which was a bunt single. Infield still in for the Scarlets. And the 1-0 pitch is above his letters, and it's 2-0. Kramer, the Hardhats third baseman, has the bases loaded and no one out. 2-0's now the Hardhats lead, thanks to an RBI walk for Paz. 2-0 pitch, a called strike on a breaking ball outside corner, and it's 2-1. Cooper Bowman, the Hardhat shortstop's on deck. 0 for 1 with a sac fly RBI under his belt. 2-1 to Kramer. Swung on, ball's popped up. Infield fly rule is invoked by the infield umpire, and the ball's caught. So that's the first out. Bases are loaded, and that'll bring us to Cooper Bowman. So Cooper Bowman's up. Bases are loaded and 1 out. Hardhat shortstop, 0 for 1. A sac fly RBI to center the last time he was up. 2-0's the Hardhats lead. He has a good chance to blow it open. His first pitch rides upstairs for ball 1. Paz is on first. Sorensen's on second. Ferdinand's on third. 1-0 pitch, called strike at the knees of Bowman, and it's 1-1. 2-0 Hardhats lead. 2 hits in this inning. Here's the 1-1. Just missed low. And it's 2 balls and a strike to Bowman. 2 runs, 7 hits, an error for post 22 to this point in the game. And here comes the 2-1. Swung on and missed. And the count evens up 2-2. Only 1 strikeout so far for DeVries in the start. Pitch away from number 2, and it would be a big one. Give him 2 outs. He's going to step off the rubber. Everyone will retreat. And we still have yet to see a 2-2 pitch to Cooper Bowman.
Doubleheader here tomorrow. It starts at 1 o'clock, and it'll both games on Hardhat-TV. No radio tomorrow.
2-2 to Bowman. Swung on. The ball's hit high in the air. Third base side, foul, and out of play. Goes off of one of the field houses, and the count will hold at 2-2 for the Hardhat shortstop. Hardhats have a 2-0 lead. The base is loaded and 1 out here in the bottom of the fourth. Bowman with a swing could really blow this open. 2-2 pitch. Swung on, and the ball's hit right back over the head of DeVries. Charging in from short to make the stop is Spickard, and his throw to first isn't in time. An RBI infield single for Cooper Bowman, and the Hardhats have a 3-0 lead, and the bases remain loaded here in the bottom of the fourth.
63 RBIs for Bowman now leads the team, as you said, 2 tonight.
That scored Luke Ferdinand. Sorensen's at third. Paz is at second. Bowman's at first. And the first pitch to Zach Solano is hit in the right center field. And it goes all the way to the warning track and to the wall. Solano's going to clear the bases. He's rounding second. He's into third. A 3-run RBI triple for Zach Solano. And the Hardhats lead is now 6-0 with 1 out and a man 90 feet away from home here in the bottom of the fourth.
Well, that gives Zach 3 RBIs and 62 on the season now, and 63 for Bowman. So they have quite a friendly race going on there for the team RBI lead as the coach for the Scarlets is making that lonely trip out to the mound.
Zach Sumption is now up as there's a conference between the Billings infield, and it looks like they're going to make a pitching change. As DeVries hands the ball to his coach, they are going to go to the bullpen. We'll see just exactly who is taking over. Unless his glove is off and he's just carrying it. This is a left-handed pitcher, and that's exactly what it looks like. Left-handed pitcher. Number 18, Andy Larson, if I caught that license plate correctly. So Andy Larson, the lefty, will take over against the Hardhats for Cole DeVries, who went 3 1/3 innings in this start. He allowed 9 hits and 6 runs. I believe all but 1 was earned. He walked 3, only struck out 1, and he did it on 84 pitches. So Andy Larson, the lefty, is taking his warm-up pitches, and he will face Zach Sumption, who's 0 for 1 with a walk and a line out to right field. And Sumption, in a sac fly scenario, because of Zach Solano's bases clearing RBI triple, he's standing on third, and there's only 1 out here in the bottom of the fourth.
And 1 week from today, the start of the South Dakota State American Legion Baseball Tournament. Doubleheaders will be at 10 a.m. in the morning, 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
And that's when everything becomes real. Everything you've worked for from May 3rd for this team to next Wednesday, that's when it all becomes real. And here's hoping the Hardhats can go 5 titles in a row, which means they would go to the regional in Dickinson, where they just were last weekend. And a win in Dickinson would be their first trip to the American Legion World Series since 2005. So very exciting times for these Hardhats. Zach Sumption's up. He'll take on the lefty Andy Larson. The infield's in. There's a man on third with 1 out here in the bottom of the fourth. Hardhats have plated 5. It's a 6-0 advantage. And Sumption's first pitch is up high for ball 1. Here's the 1-0. That misses outside, and it's 2 balls and no strikes. Sumption 0 for 1 on the ball game. He lined out to right field. He also walked. He has a man on third, and his 2-0 pitch Swung on, and that ball is pulled to left. Underneath it is Michelson, and he dropped the ball. He originally caught it, dropped the ball. Assumption's going to take off for second, and he's there. He knocks in Solano, and the Hardhats now have a 7-0 lead with a man on second and one out here in the bottom of the fourth. And they're gonna rule that a base hit. So that's an RBI double for Assumption. With the one out, and it brings up Todd Stevens, and everybody in the Hardhats order has hit in this inning. First pitch. Called strike to Stevens. That pitch had some movement on it at his knees inside. It's 0-1. No balls and a strike to count here to Stevens. Hardhats left fielder. And his 0-1 pitch misses high and away, and it's a ball and a strike. So you can change DeVries' stat line now to 7 runs allowed, 6 of which were earned. If my scoring method is correct, I'll double check that later. 1-1 to Stevens. Swung on and missed. Way ahead of that off-speed pitch, and it's a ball and 2 strikes. I use off-speed a little liberally there because Larson's not really throwing that hard. But nonetheless, it doesn't look like it's got a normal pop like a fastball would, unless that's just standard for him. 1-2 pitch. Stevens fouls it. It's high in the air behind home plate. Johnson, the catcher, underneath it, and he makes the catch. So it's a pop 2 in the scorebook. 2 down. Assumption still on second. And we'll start back with the man who started this entire inning off, and that's Timmy Paris. 2 for 2 with a pair of singles and a run scored. Paris has Assumption on second. 2 outs here in the bottom of the fourth. The Hardhats have plated 6, and it's a 7-0 lead. First pitch to Paris, a called strike, and it's 0-1. Larson, the lefty, in relief of Cole DeVries, the starting pitcher, went 84 pitches in 3 1/3. Here's the 0-1. Paris fouls it off, and it's 0-2. Nice catch by the fan over there, first base side, excuse me. No balls and 2 strikes to count. Larson's 0-2 to Paris. Misses low, and the count goes to a ball and 2 strikes. If Paris is the final out for the Hardhats, we go to 8-9-1 due up for the Billings Scarlet, starting with Braden Eupert. If not, Luke Ferdinand's on deck, and he singled right after Paris did at the start of this bottom half of the fourth. 1-2 from Larson. Breaking ball outside, and it's 2-2. Nice curve from Larson, had some good dip to it. Seven 0's the Hardhats lead. 2 balls, 2 strikes to count to the backstop for Timmy Paris. 2-2 pitch. Swung on. That ball's hit high in the air to right field. That ball has some legs, but it suddenly dies shy of the warning track, and Peyton Stovall will make the catch. Well, 10 Hardhats see the batter's box. And Post 22 has plated 6 in this inning to take a 7-0 advantage. It was those 6 runs on the power of 5 hits. There was 1 error charged to the Scarlets, and there was 1 man left on the base path, Zach Assumption in scoring position. We've played 4, and the Hardhats have blown this one open. It's a 7-0 lead over the Scarlets. We'll be right back with the top half of the 5th in just a few moments here on the official radio home of the Hardhats on ESPN Radio, Rapid City.
Great faces, great places. Wet paint? Yep. And around here, when great places need a little love, great faces band together. Each year, First Interstate Bank employees help local organizations put a fresh coat of paint on homes of those in need. A small gesture, perhaps, but one that puts smiles on faces and strengthens bonds in the places we serve. First Interstate Bank. It's you and I together.
Why do so many business people trust us? Well, we're pretty nice folks, of course, and we really know our stuff. Black Hills Insurance, a tradition of service since 1949.
We've played 4 as the Post-22 Hardhats look to defend their 7-0 lead over the Billings Scarlets. Numbers across the board for Post-22, it's 7 runs on 10 hits with an error. And for the Scarlets, it's no runs on 4 hits and 1 error. Mark Benetti and Tom Rudebush alongside you for all the action, for all the hilarity, for all the fun moments of this 2017 season. Can't believe it's almost over. It's something else. Riley McSherry looks at Braden Upert, the 8-hole hitter for the Scarlets, to start off the top half of the 5th. Upert showed bunt, but his first pitch was a called strike as he pulled back, and it's 0-1. Upert on the ball game is 0 for 1, ground out to third. His first at bat. Here's the 0-1. Just missed outside, and the count evens up at 1-1 on the fastball. So it's Upert currently in a 1-1 battle. Peyton Stovall, the right fielder, after him. Then back to the top of the order to Ben Tallman, the DH. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Swung on, and the ball's hit high in the air to very shallow center. From shortstop, it's Bowman, and he makes the catch right behind second base. Pop 6 in the book. 1 up, 1 down. And that brings up Peyton Stovall, the right fielder. Stovall is 0 for 1, one of 2 strikeouts issued by McSherry in this contest. 1 out, the base path is empty for Peyton Stovall. The Hardhats have a 7-0 lead. They're looking to keep it that way over the Scarlets. First pitch to Stovall. Misses low, and it's ball 1. It feels like years, but 2 months ago these teams played. Hardhats took a 6-2 win over the Scarlets club. It was in Billings. Here comes the 1-0 from McSherry. Just missed low on a fastball, and it's 2 balls, no strikes to Stovall, the right fielder. Next pitch will be number 72 from McSherry. Here's the 2-0. Called strike on an off-speed pitch at his knees, and it's 2-1. Two balls and a strike the count. And the pitch from McSherry. Called strike on a fastball outside corner at the knees, and it's 2-2. Base path's empty here for Stovall. McSherry's looking for his 3rd K. 2-2 pitch. Swung on, and the ball is flared foul first base side and out of play. And the count will hold even at 2-2. Two balls, 2 strikes the count. McSherry deals to Stovall. Swung on, and it's fouled off the end of his bat, and the count will hold at 2-2. One out here in the top of the 5th. The Hardhats looking to keep this 7-0 advantage intact over the Scarlets. Peyton Stovall looks at his 2-2 pitch. Swung on, and the ball is chopped to third. Charging in Kramer. He gets it on a low scoop. Throw it at first is not in time. So it'll be an infield single for Peyton Stovall, despite the best efforts of Justin Kramer over at third. So there's a man on first with 1 out, and we go back to the top of the order to Ben Tallman, the DH.
Well, the Scarlets have collected 5 hits off Riley in 4 1/3 innings, but again, the key in my mind, and I know coaches Messer and Hers are happy, no bases on balls so far in 4 1/3 innings.
We have a conference on the mound as Coach Messer approaches McSherry. His entire infield comes in. McSherry, by the way, is at 76 pitches
Aha.
So whether this factors into him being substituted now and or in a few pitches or this next batter is probably the case. Maybe that's what Coach Messer's out there to talk to him about. Looks like he's not going to make a change just yet. But that has to be in the back of his mind at 76 pitches, soon to be 77.
Now, if this was the first game of the state tournament and the score was the same,
you pull him.
You pull him. Absolutely. If not even at the start of the inning, maybe.
Right.
They could have had somebody warming up.
Because he's thrown at minimum 8 pitches in this inning, so he was at 60. He was at 68 coming in, or 66 coming in. So he threw 10. So now he's back to the top of the order. Ben Tallman, the DH, is 2 for 2. His first pitch is fouled, then he starts behind 0-1. Tallman doubled on the very first pitch of the ball game to center field. Singled the last time he was up on a 2-2 pitch. That was back at the top of the third. We're in the top of the fifth. The man on first and 1 out for the Billings Scarlets. They trail 7-0 to post 22. McSherry will step off the rubber, and we have yet to see the 0-1 pitch to Tallman. Christian Michelson, the left fielder, on deck if the double play doesn't end the inning. Here's the 0-1 from McSherry. Swung on it. That ball is pulled high in the air to left, and it just hooks foul. And the count is 0-2. That could have been a devastating hit if it was fair. So no balls, 2 strikes, the count to Ben Tallman, the DH. One of the lone bright spots for the Scarlets club. 2 for 2. No balls, 2 strikes, the count. The man on first is Stovall. He singled. 1 at bat ago. Time's called by Tallman, so we still have yet to see the 0-2 pitch. 1 on, 1 out, top of the fifth. It's 7-0 Hardhats. Sherry agrees on a sign. From the stretch he goes, 0-2 pitch. Misses low, Paris the block, and hanging tight at first to Stovall. Ball and 2 strikes now to Tallman. And the next pitch out of Riley's hand will be number 80 in this start.
Well, Mitch can do this because you don't play for another week. I mean, Riley's got 6 days to rest.
1 ball, 2 strikes. McSherry looking for that third K. 1-2 pitch. Swung on it. That ball's pulled high in the air to left. That ball has the legs. It has the distance. Sumption's at the warning track, and it's over his head. And the ball has left the ballpark. A 2-run blast for Ben Tallman. He is 3 for 3 for the Scarlets club. And the Hardhats shutout is no more. It's 7-2 with 1 out here in the top of the fifth.
And that is just the 6th home run allowed by the post-22 pitching staff all season long. That's an incredible stat. Just 6 home runs now and almost 367 innings.
So now that brings up Christian Michelson, the left fielder, who's 0 for 2 with a fly out to right and a ground out to third. McSherry is still in. He has not been substituted yet. There was a conference on the mound, possibly discussing such an action. First pitch misses low and away to Michelson, and it's 1-0. Tommy Wall is listed on the lineup card as first relief, the way that Coach Messer traditionally writes the lineup card. Here's the 1-0. Swung on and missed. And the count evens up to a ball and a strike now for Michelson. Dylan Johnson, the catcher, is on deck. He's also 0 for 2. Here's the 1-1. Low and away, 2 balls and a strike. Here comes the 2-1 pitch. Michelson looks at a strike 2 fastball at his knees, and it's 2-2. Interesting stat breakdown here for this Scarlets club. They have 6 hits on the ball game. Exactly half of them belong to their leadoff man. 2-2 pitch. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. That's the third strikeout for McSherry in the start. 2 down, and it brings us to Dylan Johnson, the catcher. Johnson 0 for 2, a fly out to right and a fly out to left. McSherry with 3 strikeouts now in the start. And the first pitch. Called strike on a fastball. Nice velocity, and it's 0-1.
6 hits allowed by Riley in the game, and that puts his season batting average against was .256 coming into the game.
Next pitch is fouled, and it's 0-2. McSherry looking to finish the inning. It would be a 5-inning start for him in which he's only allowed 2 runs on 6 hits. Should he be substituted in the 6th? 0-2 pitch. Just missed low and away, and the count's 1-2 to Dylan Johnson. Base path is empty for the scoreless catcher. If he's the last out, the Hardhats will have 8, 9, and 1 due up. Next pitch swung on, and it's hit into right field in the gap between first and second for a base hit. Dylan Johnson with a 2-out single keeps the inning going. And that'll bring up Clay Siebel, the first baseman. Siebel on the ball game, 1 for 2. Struck out looking, and he singled. Sherry's still in the ball game. About to throw his 90th pitch of this start. First pitch. Nice breaking pitch, strike 1. And it's 0-1 to Siebel. Looked like a slider down and away. No balls and a strike the count. McSherry deals. Swung on and fouled by Siebel, and quickly he's behind 0-2. No balls, 2 strikes the count. And McSherry deals to Siebel. Swung on and missed, strike 3, and that's going to do it. 4 strikeouts for Riley McSherry as he strikes out Siebel to end the inning. But the inning did not come without a price. It was 2 runs on the power of 3 hits for the Scarlets. No errors were charged to the Hardhats, and there was only 1 man left on the base path on first. We've played 4.5. Post 22 still has the lead, but now it's been cut to 7-2. We'll be right back in the bottom of the 5th with Luke Ferdinand leading us off. We'll be right back in just a few moments. The Anytime Auto Sales Press Box here on ESPN Radio, Rapid City. All set now for the bottom half of the 5th inning here at the Fitz. Post 22 still in the driver's seat. However, 7-2 is now their lead over the Scarlets. Andy Larson, who finished out the bottom half of the 4th in relief, is here to start the bottom half of the 5th. And he'll face 8, 9, and 1 in the Hardhats batting order, and Luke Ferdinand, Jack Sorensen, and back to the top to Walker Paz. Numbers across the board through 4.5. For Post 22, it's 7 runs on 10 hits and an error. And for the Scarlets, it's 2 runs on 7 hits with an error of their own. Last series of the regular season will end tomorrow with a doubleheader at 1 o'clock. Crazy to believe we've come this far. We're about to play 56 total games. And then it's the state playoffs. Hardhats looking for a 5th consecutive state championship in South Dakota, which would be number 42 overall in program history. It would buy them another ticket into the regional championship for a 5th consecutive year. And if they win the regionals in Dickinson 2 weeks from now, that'll be their first berth into the American Legion World Series since 2005. No pressure, right?
Not on us.
Here comes Luke Ferdinand. 1 for 2. And his first pitch is way low and outside for ball 1. First lefty-on-lefty matchup of the ballgame between either side. Larson, the left-handed pitcher for Billings. Ferdinand, the left-handed batter for the Hardhats. His 1-0 pitch is a called strike. Changeup on the outside corner, and it's 1-1. And Larson, full windup. 1-1 to Ferdinand. Misses low and away, and it's 2 balls and a strike. Larson gets a lot of movement on his pitches, but they don't have that much velocity to them. Here's the 2-1. Called strike at the belt to Ferdinand. That looked like a two-seamer, and it's 2-2. 2-2 pitch to Ferdinand. Swung on, and that ball is pulled to right, but it's foul. And it goes into Rapid Creek, and the count will hold at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Ferdinand really got a hold of that ball, was just a bit ahead of it. So 2 balls, 2 strikes the count here to Ferdinand. And the pitch. High and inside, and the count goes full. Payoff pitch to Ferdinand. Caught him looking. Strike 3 at his belt. Ferdinand is frozen. But Yogi Milslagle, the home plate umpire, rings him up. First strikeout for Larson in relief. It's a backwards K, and that'll bring us to Jack Sorensen. Sorensen, the DH, 0 for 1, a strikeout. He reached on an error, but Tom said it would be normally credited as a sacrifice. So we credit him for a sacrifice because he tried to bunt, and then the ball was misfielded. He looks at ball 1, and quickly his 1-0 pitch is high and outside, and it's 2 balls and no strikes.
And the reasoning behind that, of course, even if the third baseman would have played the ball for the out, the sacrifice would have been good. And just because Jack reached base doesn't mean you charge him with the time at bat, because he did put the ball in play on a good sacrifice attempt.
Sorensen looks at ball 3, and he's about to look at a potential base on balls at this point. And he does. That one's low and inside for ball 4. So Jack remains 0-1, or 0 for 1, I should say, in the ballgame. He's on first for the second time. And that'll bring up Walker Paz, who has just been dynamite. 2 for 2, a pair of runs scored, an RBI base on balls, a single and a double. Man on first and 1 out here in the bottom of the 5th, and his first pitch is pulled high in the air to right. Underneath it is Stovall, and he makes the catch falling forward for the second out. So a big F9 in the books for Billings. 2 down, a man on first. It brings us to Justin Kramer. Justin Kramer, 2 for 3. A pair of singles, a stolen base. And he popped out to short, and it invoked the infield fly rule with the bases loaded. First pitch. Low and inside, ball 1. Kramer keeps the inning going, then Cooper Bowman's on deck. If not, then the Hardhats need to register 3 outs. In the top of the 6th. Getting ahead of myself. For some reason, I thought it was the 6th because I haven't changed my scorebook on the Hardhats side to read that this was the 5th. It batted through the order, and I had to cross out the 6th to make it 5.
Would you explain that to me one more time?
I'll have to do it off the air when I can actually string together a coherent thought. Here's the 1-1. Pitch is fouled by Kramer. First base side now to play, and it's 1-2. Sometimes words are hard, Tom. I've said this multiple times this season. Words are hard.
Yes, they can be sometimes.
Yes, they can, especially if I'm using them. We saw that earlier in the broadcast. Here's the 1-2. Kramer fouls it again. He stays alive at a ball and 2 strikes. Yeah, names at the beginning of the season were a little tough, particularly one in Spearfish. And then there was a sequence of events in tonight's game that was a little hard to spit out. So we nod our head, we smile, we laugh. We make YouTube reels of it, repeating the mistake. Fun times had by all. Check to first. Isn't there in time as Sorensen's back. Folks, if you only knew what went on in this booth, what went on between this three-man crew we have up here. 1-2 pitch. Kramer fouls it again, and he stays alive. Kramer has Sorensen on first with 2 outs in the bottom of the 5th. 7-2 is the Hardhats lead. One-two pitch. And Kramer looks at ball 3. Check to first. Not there in time as Sorensen dives back. 2 balls, 2 strikes to count out of Kramer. And it's 2-2. Skips away from the catcher, Johnson. It goes all the way to the backstop, and Sorensen's going to take second. So the wild pitch will put Sorensen in scoring position and give Justin Kramer a full count. So a big payoff pitch coming up for Andy Larson. Does he keep the inning going with a base on balls, a base hit, or does he end it? Payoff to Kramer. Swung on, and the ball is hit to third and into the gap for a base hit. Sorensen gets the green light. He's rounding third. He's going to come in and score, and the throw isn't going to get there. A 2-out RBI single for Justin Kramer, and the Hardhats lead is now 8-2 with a man on first and 2 outs here in the bottom of the 5th.
Well, Justin Kramer, who's been just a tremendous asset at third base, playing some of the best third base I've ever seen a post-22 third baseman play. It's his 3rd hit of the night.
3 for 4. A trio of singles, and this one knocked in a run. First pitch to Cooper Bowman, a called strike just above his belt, and it's 0-1. Cooper Bowman has 2 RBIs in the ballgame. He had an RBI infield single the last time he was up, a sac fly RBI prior to that. He's 1 for 2. 0-1 pitch. Breaking ball, swung on it, it's fouled. And quickly, he's behind 0-2 to the lefty Larson. Another catch by a fan out there. Sign some of these guys up.
Young man with a glove out there caught that ball.
Flashing the leather. No balls, 2 strikes the count. And Larson deals. Pitches upstairs, and it's 1-2.
You know, I should bring my glove up here. Just to have it in case.
Why not?
I think I'll do that tomorrow.
There you go. I'll join you in that effort. 1-2. Bowman looks at ball 2, and the count evens up at 2-2. If Bowman keeps the inning going, Zach Solano's on deck. He's fresh off of a bases-clearing RBI triple. If not, 5, 6, and 7 are due up for Billings. 2-2 pitch is swung on, and it's flared to right. On the run is Stovall, and he makes the catch about 10 feet from the foul line, and that'll end the bottom half of the 5th. Oh, the Hardhats get a run on the power of 1 hit. There were no errors charged to the Billings Scarlets. There was 1 man left on the base path, and that was Justin Kramer on first. We've played 5 here at the Fitz. The Hardhats have an 8-2 advantage over the Billings Scarlets. We'll be back with the top half of the 6th and a new pitcher for the Hardhats to discuss in just a few moments here on the official radio home of the Hardhats on ESPN Radio Rapid City.
Camping World is here to help you connect to adventure and explore the outdoors with friends and family, offering new and pre-owned RVs to fit every budget and thousands of parts and accessories for any need. Camping World has it all. With over 125 supercenters nationwide, you're never far from America's #1 RV dealer. No matter where your adventures take you, whether you need an RV, parts, or service, Camping World is here to help you every step of the way. Visit Camping World in Rapid City or shop campingworld.com today.
We've played 5 here at the Fitz. Post 22 has an 8-2 lead, and they have a new face on the mound. And it's Tommy Wall. Tommy Wall He's one of our celebrants of senior night. Comes in for his 18th appearance of the season, and it'll be his 13th by virtue of a relief appearance. 40 2/3 innings of work under his belt. He has a 3-2 record on the season and is 1-for-1 in save opportunities. 45 strikeouts to 19 walks and a 2.24 ERA. Takes over for Riley McSherry, who ended up going 92 pitches. And his first pitch is to Sam Berry, the second baseman, and it misses inside for ball 1. McSherry ended up going 5 innings, and he allowed 2 runs on 7 hits. Walked none, and struck out 4. Next pitch to Berry is fouled, then his count evens up at a ball and a strike.
Team's batting .234 on the season against Tommy Wall.
And what gets me is how many few free base runners he's given up. 1-1 pitch. Swung on, and it's fouled for a ball and 2 strikes now to Berry. Again, he has 45 strikeouts, so over 1 per inning, to 19 walks and 2 hit batsmen. So 21 free base runners that are of his doing in 40 2/3 innings of work. 1-2 pitch. Upstairs, and the count evens up 2-2. Sam Berry currently in a 2-2 battle with Wall, followed by Cole Kramer and Max Bickard, the shortstop. 2-2 to Berry. Misses low. The count goes full. Wall facing his first batter in relief. Sam Berry deals a payoff pitch, and it swung on, hit high in the air to right field. Zach Solano's underneath it, and he makes the catch. F9 in the scorebook, 1 up, 1 down for the Scarlets. That'll bring us to Cole Kramer, who is 1 for 2 with a single and a reach on an error. Post 22 has an 8-2 lead. It's 8 runs on 11 hits for an error. And the Scarlets 2 runs on 7 hits with an error. First pitch from Wall. Swung on and missed. A big cut from Kramer. And it's 0-1. From Wall. Swung on and missed. Strike 2 on another big cut. And quickly he's behind 0-2. Tommy has his entire arsenal to play with. Way ahead 0-2. And he deals his 2-strike pitch. High and inside, and it's ball and 2 strikes. One-two from Wall. Just missed low and away, and it's 2-2. That was a tad bit close. Two balls, 2 strikes to count. Wall deals. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. That's his first strikeout in relief. 2 up, 2 down. Here comes Max Bickard, the shortstop. Bickard is 0 for 2. Hit into an inning-ending 5-4-3 double play in the top of the second. Popped out to first in foul territory to end the top of the fourth. There's a noticeable pattern here. He has ended the offensive half of the innings for his Scarlets. His first pitch is fouled, and he's behind 0-1. If he is the last out, the Hardhats have 4-5 and 6-2 up. That's Solano, Sumption, and Stevens in order. 0-1 pitch. Swung on, and that ball is lined right over the head of Cooper Bowman and into center for a base hit. So it's a 2-out single for Bickard. He's aboard the base path, and that'll bring up Braden Newport, the center fielder. Newport on the ballgame's 0 for 2. Round out to third and pop out to Cooper Bowman right behind second base. Here's his first pitch. Low and away, ball 1 on fastball. 1-0 the count. And on first with 2 outs. 1-0 pitch. Swung on and missed. And Newport's behind a ball and a strike, or rather, he's even a ball and a strike. Wall checks the man on first. And here comes his 1-1. Low and away, and it's 2 balls and a strike. Peyton Stovall, the right fielder, is on deck if Newport can keep it going. Two-one from Wall. Swung on, and the ball is hit right to Walker Paz. He backs up at second, and he makes the catch. So the pop 4 will end the inning. No runs on a hit, no errors. 1 man left on the base path on first for the Scarlets. We've played 5.5. The Hardhats lead is still intact at 8-2. 4, 5, and 6 are due up, starting with Zach Solano. We'll be back with his at-bat and more in the bottom of the 6th from the Anytime Auto Sales Press Box here on ESPN Radio. Rapid City.
With more than 300 pediatric experts in 35 specialty areas, Sanford Children's offers the care that matters to your family. At the Castle of Care, we are committed to bringing in the latest and most advanced technology and services to care for your children. And having the largest team of specialists in the region means your child can receive expert, individualized care close to home. At Sanford Children's, we promise to put your family first. To learn more, visit childrens.sanfordhealth.org.
Hardhats transition from defense to offense. Zach Solano, Zach Sumption, and Todd Stevens are the 3 men scheduled to hit to lead the offensive charge here in the bottom half of the 6th inning. Andy Larson, the lefty, is still out there in relief for the Scarlets. He's only allowed 1 run on 2 hits since he took over for Cole DeVries.
Final 2 games of the regular season here tomorrow. 1 o'clock doubleheader with Colton Sherbinski and Kyle McGuire slated to pitch for Post 22 tomorrow. 1 o'clock, the only way you can hear the games or watch them on Hardhat-TV tomorrow. No radio coverage tomorrow.
Zach Solano leads us off. 1 for 2 with a 3-run triple his last at-bat. And he looks at a first pitch ball inside, 1-0. Solano also has a walk in this game and a run scored. Ball and no strikes the count from the lefty Larson, and he deals. Swung on, and it's fouled. Ball and a strike now to Solano. Hardhats are 3 outs away on defense from taking the first game of this 3-game set against the Scarlets. 1-1 from Larson. Ball's inside and it hits him. Just barely caught his arm, but Zach Solano's going to take a free trot to first on a hit by pitch. So leadoff man's aboard for the Hardhats, and that'll bring up center fielder Zach Sumption. Sumption on the ball game. 1 for 2. He has a walk. He also has a ribby double under his belt. He has not come around to score just yet. Check to first isn't there in time, so Solano stays tethered to the bag. First pitch to Sumption. Swung on, and that ball is hit high in the air to left field. That ball has the legs, that ball has the distance, and that ball is off the wall. Solano turns on his jets. He's coming into third, and the throw doesn't get there. So it's a double off the wall for Zach Sumption. He's doubled in back-to-back at-bats. And now that brings up Todd Stevens with 2 men in scoring position and no one out here in the bottom half of the 6th. And Tom, that could have potentially scored a run, but Zach Solano had to hold up prior to second to see if that ball was going to be caught.
Yeah, I don't know if Zach really read that as well as he could have. There wasn't much of a chance. Of course, our view of it was different, too. From up here, we had a better view.
Stevens looks at a first pitch ball outside. 1-0.
Michelson in left field was playing, as you can see, as he is now. He's shading a few steps towards left center. He had a long run to a ball hit down into the corner.
1-0 to Stevens, hits him, and the bases are loaded. And that'll bring up Timmy Paris, who's 2 for 3 in the ballgame. Second hit batsman of the inning by Larson of the Scarlets. And now every base is occupied, and no one's out. They're going to bring the infield in.
This doesn't make any sense to me, having the infield in this particular situation. The 10-run rule is looming. It's still off in the distance, but it's there. If you play deep, get a double play ball.
First pitch to Paris. Outside, ball 1. Yes, the 10-run rule is looming. That's a great point, because with one swing of the bat, it's invoked. If Timmy Paris goes yard, ball game's over. It'll be a second walk-off home run of the year.
If that happens, it doesn't make any difference if the infield is in.
1-0. Swung on, and the ball is flared to right. Stovall's on the run. He looked like he misplayed the ball at one point, but he makes a catch. Tagging up and scoring is Solano from third, and heading to second, from second to third is Zach Sumption. So it's an RBI sac fly for Timmy Paris, and the Hardhats lead is 9-2 with 1 out and men on the corners here in the bottom of the 6th.
Good night for Timmy tonight. He's caught a good game, 2 hits. There, an RBI, is 48th of the year.
So now Luke Ferdinand comes up, men on the corners and 1 out. Ferdinand 1 for 3, struck out looking last time he was up. And that is the only strikeout issued by Larson in this relief stint. Hardhats now with a 9-2 lead over the Billings Scarlets. And there is a semi-shift over to the right side of the infield for Ferdinand. First pitch, swung on, ball's hit high in the air. It's in shallow right center. Charging Stovall from right. He's going to give way to the center fielder, Upert, who makes the catch. Tagging up from third and scoring is Zach Sumption. Back-to-back sac fly RBIs for the Hardhats. This one to Luke Ferdinand. And it's now 10-2 with 2 outs and a man on first to bring up Jack Sorensen. 3 sac fly RBIs in the ballgame for the Hardhats. These last 2 back-to-back. Sorensen walked the last time he was up. He swings at his first pitch. It's in foul territory. Over from first is Kramer, and he makes the catch. And that will end the bottom half of the 6th. Well, the Hardhats played 2 runs on the power of just 1 hit. There were no errors charged to the Scarlets, and there was 1 man left on the base path on first. We've played 6. The Hardhats are 3 outs away from winning Game 1 of this 3-game set against the Billings Scarlets. It's 10-2 as we head to the top of the 7th, and Tommy Wall is ready to close it out. We'll be right back in just a few moments with our final inning of the ball game here on the official radio home of the Hardhats on ESPN Radio, Rapid City.
You don't have to try to hit a home run when you're hitting singles and doubles all day. Consistency wins games, and it's key to helping achieve your retirement goals. At Weitzel Financial Group, they believe they're there to help with your own ideals and goals. Head toward your field of dreams. Call Weitzel Financial Group for a consultation at 348-1152. Kurt Weitzel is a registered representative and investment advisor representative with and offers securities and advisory services through Commonwealth Financial Network member FINRA SIPC, a registered investment advisor. Weitzel Financial Group, 817 9th Street, Rapid City, South Dakota, 57701.
Top of the 7th inning, and Tommy Wall is going to try to have a 1-2-3 inning, which we haven't seen from either side so far in the game. 20 hits for the 2 teams, 12 for the Hardhats, 8 for the Scarlets, but Post 22 has a big 10-2 lead as we head to the top of the 7th. 3 outs to go, and Peyton Stovall, the right fielder, leading off for the Scarlets. Called out on strikes in the 3rd. And he had an infield single and scored a run in the 5th inning. Scarlet scoring both of their runs on Tallman's 2-run home run in the 5th inning. Tommy Wall gave up a 2-out single last inning. It was harmless. He has 1 strikeout. Facing the right-handed batting Stovall, number 9 hitter. Wall's pitch. Ball is bunted foul off to the right. He was trying to bunt himself on there up the first baseline. 1 strike on Stovall. Tommy Wall's pitch. Breaking ball over the inside corner for a strike, and it's 0-2.
Very well placed pitch by Tommy there. Had a little break to it. Very well placed.
So Wall ahead, 2 strikes. They pitch on the way, and it's low and outside. Tommy might be a key man in postseason play with this pitching rule. He might be called upon to really be involved. Pitch is low, and it's 2-2.
Well, we've talked earlier about what makes Tommy so lethal is that he has ice water in his veins. Nothing phases him. So if you need him to come in for big innings in relief, if you need him to give you a big start, he can do it.
2 balls, 2 strikes. The pitch on the way is swung on and lined to left field for a base hit. Cooper Bowman diving to his right, couldn't get to it. And Stovall has a leadoff single here in the 7th inning for the Scarlets, and that is their 9th hit of the game. Here is the leadoff man, Ben Tallman, who is 3 for 3. A double to center in the first, a single to left in the third, a 2-run home run over the left field fence in the 5th inning. Designated hitter. Here's the set by Wall and the pitch. And it's in the dirt, bouncing away from Timmy Paris, and on a wild pitch, Stovall goes to second. So the Scarlets with a runner in scoring position and a 1-ball count on Tallman. Considering all the Scarlet traveling they've done in the last 24 hours, they've competed tonight. Here's the set by Wall. The pitch on the way, swung on and foul back. Tallman had a good cut at that pitch. It was up. And it's 1 ball, 1 strike. Scarlet's playing in Bozeman last night. Played 2 games. Here's the set by Wall. A look back at second. The pitch is cut on and missed. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Tommy ahead on the count. Trying to retire Tallman for the first time tonight. The right-hander sets and delivers. Swung on, and that's hit through the hole to right field. The 4th hit of the game for Tallman. Holding at third is Stovall. A sharp single by Walker Paz to his left into right field. 4 for 4 is Ben Tallman. Well, we haven't seen too many 4-hit games this season, but we've seen one tonight from Tallman. That's 10 hits in the game for Billings. And Christian Michelson up the left fielder. Takes a pitch low and outside. Michelson has flied to right center. Grounded out to third and struck out. Tommy Wall giving up a couple of hits here to start this 7th inning with post 22 leading 10-2. He throws over to first base. Outfield is straight away. Infield double play depth. Post 22 has turned 1 double play tonight. Here's the set by Wall and the pitch. And a fastball is high, and it's ball 2. Two and nothing on Michelson. The pitch on the way. That's in there for a strike at the knees. 2-1. Scarlets have a couple of league games on Saturday to close out their regular season. 2-1 pitch, swing and a miss. 2 balls and 2 strikes. They have a conference in Montana. To make the state tournament, you have to finish in the top 8, and they are currently 9th But if they can win 2 games on Saturday, they would make the playoffs. Swing and a miss for strike 3. Michelson strikes out. Second strikeout for Tommy Wall. That brings up Dylan Johnson, the catcher, number 3 hitter. He's flied to right, flied to center, and singled to right. Runners at the corners now for Wall with 1 out. Here's Tommy's pitch. Breaking ball over a strike. 10-2. Post 22 leading here in the top of the 7th. Scarlets down to their last 2 outs. Here's the pitch on the way. Check swing and a strike called, and it's 0-2. Another breaking ball from Wall. No balls and 2 strikes. And the pitch. Swung on, a bouncing foul outside at third. Count runs along at 0-2 as Stovall returns to third. Tallman at first. Wall now goes to the set. The 0-2 pitch. A strike on the outside corner. And Johnson is rung up. Third strikeout for Tommy Wall, and there are 2 outs here in the 7th inning. And Clay Siebel up the third baseman. Called out on strikes, single to right, struck out swinging his last at bat in the 5th inning. Right-handed batter, and takes a strike called. Playing at third base, batting cleanup. He pitched in relief for the Scarlets against Post 22 in 3 1/3 innings in that game back on May 6th. Here's the pitch. Fastball turns him away. 1 ball and 1 strike. 2 outs, runners at first and third. Now time is called as Siebel steps out. 1 o'clock doubleheader here tomorrow. You can watch the games, listen to the games only tomorrow on Hardhats-TV. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Low and inside, a ball. Had several fans tell us this year that they have bought those converters. They hook their computer up to their TV, and anytime they want to watch the Hard Hats, they just watch it on their big screen TV. A lot of compliments in the cameras this year, too. Much improved over last year. There's a ground ball hit near second. Bowman's over to field. It steps on second base to force out Tallman, and the game is over. Cooper got to that ball right behind second and had an easy, unassisted force at second base. No runs, 2 hits for the Scarlets, and they leave 2 men on base. The final score, the Hard Hats 10 and the Scarlets 2. We'll return and check the totals and the highlights of tonight's Post 22 victory. 10-2 over the Scarlets when we return from the Anytime Auto Sales Press Box here on ESPN Radio, Rapid City. Post 22 winning tonight by a score of 10-2. Several hitting stars in the game. A solid pitching effort by Riley McSherry, who worked 5 innings and gave up 2 runs. And then Tommy Wall, 2 scoreless innings in relief. And the starter and loser was Cole DeBreeze for the Scarlets as Post 22 wins with 10 runs, 12 hits and 1 error. They stranded 8. And for the Scarlets, 2 runs, 10 hits, 1 error, and stranded 8. They had 10 hits in the game, but could only muster a couple of runs. Post 22 scored in the 3rd inning, and they got a sacrifice fly from Cooper Bowman, scoring Walker Paz, who had doubled to start the inning. It was 1-0. Then Post 22 picked up 6 runs in the 4th inning on 5 hits in the inning. The key blow in that inning, a bases loaded 3-run triple for Zach Solano. And Post 22 with their 6-run 4th led 7-0 after 4 innings of play. In the 5th inning, a 2-run homer by Ben Tallman made it a score of 7-2. And then Post 22 got a run in the bottom half of the 5th inning, and then added 2 more in the 6th, and the final score 10-2. You look at the score sheet, Mark, and you see the big hit by Solano kind of stood out, but Justin Kramer also had 3 hits in the game, an RBI. Walker Paz had 2 hits, including a double. Cooper Bowman had 2 RBIs in the game. Timmy Paris had 2 hits and an RBI. So we had several players that really chipped in tonight.
Well, what stands out to me is what I don't see on the stat sheet, and that is base on balls on any of the Billings Scarlets batting entries. Tommy Wall and Riley McSherry combined for 7 strikeouts, not a single hit batsman, not a single base on balls, and that's what stands out to me personally. These guys pitched very well. Riley ended up going 92 pitches in 5 innings, 2 runs earned on 7 hits, 4 Ks. Tommy Wall, like you said, 2 shutout innings, 2 hits, 3 Ks, and he did it on 39 pitches. So that personally to me is what stood out. I didn't see any bases on balls on the Billings Scarlet side of the score sheet. I didn't see any HBPs on their side of the score sheet. Great pitching effort, way to attack and throw strikes.
What was Tommy's pitch count for those 2 innings?
He was at 39.
39, so a little high for Tommy, but he really battled in that 7th inning. He gave up a couple of hits, runners at the corners and nobody out, but didn't allow a run to score, so that was good to see. So Post 22 now with the win has a record of 47 wins and 7 losses on the season, heading into the final 2 games tomorrow, Mark, and we begin at 1 o'clock tomorrow with the season-ending doubleheader here against the Scarlets, who are going to get some rest tonight, and they will take the field tomorrow for 2. Only way you can hear the games or watch them are on Hardhats-TV tomorrow at 1 o'clock. Yes?
I'm waiting for those 3 words.
Oh, you mean those 3 words? Well, there are 3 words that some people may be thinking of that.
I just thought of that the second I said it.
Yeah.
We're in quite the intellectual quandary, aren't we?
Well, let's see. I'll use the 3 words that say, good night, Mark.
Good night, Tom. We'll see you tomorrow afternoon for the final 2 games of the regular season to start at 1 o'clock. And like Tom said, you can only catch the games on Hardhats-TV. For my partner, Tom Rudabush, for our director of Hardhats-TV, Destin Human, this is Mark Benetti saying so long, good night. We'll see you for the final 2 games of the regular season tomorrow afternoon on Hardhats-TV.